ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ವಿಜಯಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಬಾಳೆಕುಂದ್ರಿ ಅವರಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಪ್ರೇಮ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಆರತಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಶಿವಾನಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಗಿರೀಶ್ ಚಂದ್ರ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಬದಲಾಗಕ್ಕೆ, ಬದಲಾಯಿಸೋಕೆ, ಭಾರತದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯವನ್ನ ಭದ್ರ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ, ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರುವ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. The thought process that has gone on since morning is nothing new that I have to repeat again. I'm actually glad that they have taken the 6 themes, out of which 3 are being deliberated today. 3 ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ವಿದ್ಯೆ, ಶಕ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಕ್ತಿ, ಈ 3 ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇವರು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಅಪರೂಪ ನಾನು ಬರೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ಯಾವ ಚಿಂತನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ 1-2 ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ನಾನು. Every civilization is ultimately remembered not for the wealth it accumulated, but for the wisdom it cultivated. Not for the power it displayed, but for the values it preserved. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಇದರ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಯನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನ ಒಡೆದ್ರು. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಸೋಮನಾಥ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅನ್ಸಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನೇ ನೀವು ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಆ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್, ರಿಸರ್ಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Wisdom and values are built by vidya, knowledge, sustained by shakti, inner strength, and fulfilled through mukti, liberation of human potential. India's civilizational journey teaches us a profound truth, that knowledge is sacred, strength is transformative, and liberation is the ultimate goal of human life. Education and experience give us vidya. Character gives us shakti, and when knowledge and strength unite, humanity moves towards mukti. This is not philosophical. ಇದು ಕೇವಲ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. This was how it was. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಗುರುಕುಲ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ರಿಸ್ತ ಪೂರ್ವ 3ರಿಂದ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ತ ಶಕ 8-9 ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ವೇಷನ್ ಶುರುವಾಯಿತು ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗಿನ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲವನ್ನ ತರಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ this is not philosophical. It is the very foundation of Indian culture and ethos, and must be the ideal for Indian education. Today we speak about women shaping society, and we are not presenting anything new in that as a modern reform. We are rediscovering an ancient truth. Our tradition begins with not with an argument but with reverence. Matradevo Bhava from Taittiriya, which says mother is as divine. Before any school, any book, any university can even shape our thoughts, the values should be imbibed. The compassion should have come. And mother is the root cause for all that. And a samskaravanta tayi ಒಬ್ಬಳಿದ್ರೆ, it is the job is done. ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ? Do we manage this at the micro level or the macro level is the question. Micro level is actually easy where we do it at homes with an individual, with some curriculum changes at the primary level. It is at the macro level that today in 21st century AI powered India that we have a problem. Sit with your phone for 5 minutes and you know what all you can see. Mostly unwanted and very few wanted. How do we get out of that? Where do we tell our youngsters that this is where the limit is? Forget about youngsters. Even when I sit with the phone, I would have rarely realized that I have spent around 25 minutes and then I say, because there is another work, I say, no, I need to stop. So where do we bring in the plug? That is the most important question we need to give ourselves. So these are some of the issues that I was contemplating on. And so the first embodiment of Vidya, and India never denied education to its women. And we have in the Brihadaranyaka where Gargi stands in the Royal Assembly questioning Atmava Hare Drashtavya Shrotavyo Mantavyo Nividyasitavya. And that moment tells us something profound, that knowledge belongs to courage, not to gender. And Savidya Yavamuktaye, so that which can help us blossom to be the better selves of ourselves, that is Vidya, and that is the kind of Vidya we need to look at from the university point, from the college point, from the curriculum point. So this is an area where we need to pay stress on. Mundaka says, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. Transformation is not possible by the weak. So strength is what we need. Shakti is resilience, Shakti is courage, and Shakti is the strength to transform challenges into progress. In fact, all this you can have examples from real life in any number. It is innumerable examples. examples. Well, when we talk of resilience, forget about anything. A premature child, a girl child born premature can survive better than a boy who is prematurely born. Suicide rates are higher among men than among women. Or when you look at the transformation, transforming a challenge into progress. We were all married off into families that we hardly knew. And wherever we went, we could put our roots in and we could blossom, not just blossom, make a home. Make a home not for ourselves, but for our generations before, the generations next. It was we who could multitask, and that was realized, and so this was given. Let that not become a burden in 21st century changed India. What are the changes we need to bring there? Sharing the household routine. And that's exactly why we have so many more ordered food today, because it's the statistic says a woman spends about 289 minutes a day in household work, which is around 5 hours, whereas a man spends around 88 minutes a day. This is from the ministry's statistics. So, can we shift that so that there is food prepared at home, there is shared responsibility? These are some changes in curriculum where boys are taught to chop the vegetables, boys are given some course that they can actually do. Where, as very rightly pointed out by everybody, a girl today can do everything. And where is it leading us to? It is appalling to see that about 40%, this is from Morgan and Stanley, the statistics from Morgan and Stanley, which says by 2030, 45% of the women aged 25 to 44 would want to remain childless and single. And that is no growth for a country like India. When we are looking at wanting to become the Vishwaguru, when we are looking at wanting to lead, and where is the demography going to go? I'm going to live with my pet. I'm going to live with one child. I just want a child through. And we have enough stars who are coming up with child through IVF surrogacy. Is that the ideal that we are actually looking at? That is an area, Professor Shivani, I want you all to actually deliberate on. So this is where, unless the family is intact, and the family intact with our values suiting 21st century, what progress are we actually talking about? And someone was telling me all the ashrams are going to grow because they're going to feel lonely at the end of the day. So if not at home, we go elsewhere seeking the same. ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳೊಳ ಆಗಸತಿ ತಾರೆ ನೋರಿದ್ದರೇನು ದಾರಿಗನ ಕಣ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕೊಂದು ಮನೆ ಬೆಳಕು ದೂರದ ದೈವವಂತಿರಲಿ ಮಾನುಷ ಸಕಲ ಕೋರುವುದು ಬಡಜೀವ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. So where is that ideal gone? So this is something that we need to actually think about. And we have women in all areas. I don't think we have to go into that. I just want to give some statistics here. In fact, the gross enrollment ratio, which is about the registration of boys and girls in universities today, between ages 18 and 23, girls have outnumbered boys. We have 28.5 as national average in girls, and it is 28.3 in boys. So we have outnumbered them. And Karnataka's average is even much better. We are at 34.8 in girls and 33.9 in boys. So the growth trend in female enrollment has increased from 1.57 crore women in 14-15 to 2.07 crore in 21-22. There are reasons are many. Many more universities, many more colleges, improved transportation, better PG accommodation, girls wanting to go out, all these. So women contribute to about 55% of total enrollment growth during this period, meaning that expansion of higher education is being driven more by women than men. In the PhD doctoral group, the research group, 47% of the enrollment are, the scholars are women. There is a gender gap in the professional and the technical area, the STEM area as we call science, technology, engineering and management. But that gap is understandable. That gap is actually, I would say, in a way, a healthy gap for the society. If there is a software job or whatever job offered which asks her to work from 8 in the morning to 8 in the night. In fact, I have some examples here of young girls, engineers sitting who are now with us doing MSCs. They were leading software engineers at very good companies. They felt they had to give time. This is not a compulsion from outside. It's a need from inside that I nurture my home better, that I bring up my children better, which is actually a sine qua non. It's inevitable for a country to sustain. And in fact, I salute such women who take this. So women are not much in STEM doesn't mean there is anything, we are lagging behind. We are more in healthcare, we are more in teaching. There is an innate natural skill and we can always use that. So that should not be looked at as gender bias is what I personally think. Something more appalling that comes to my mind is urban divorce rate trend is around 40% in metropolitan cities, out of which 70% are initiated by women. And these are ideas that we have to look at. There is a dating app that's Quack Quack which says 39% of the women prefer to be single compared to 28%. Ask any parent with a boy and they say, "ಹುಡುಗಿ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಯಾರಾರು ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ." It's a very common thing that we all encounter today. Not just that. Some other statistics that I would like to say. It is the Manrega has given 57.47 workers are women, and in the PM Danjan Yojana, 56 point of the accounts belong to women, granting them better access to banking and credit. In fact, coming back to Vidya and Shakti, when Vidya and Shakti unite, it can lead humanity to Mukti. Mukti, by Mukti I mean freedom, freedom from ignorance, freedom from limitation, and freedom from inequality. As people already, as my honorable speakers before me mentioned about inequality, I would look at it as not being differentiated just because you're a woman. Just that nothing more. We have our own spaces and we are not equals. We are good in our own way, we are superior in our own way, we are our own. You cannot compare a rose and a champaka, they are clear by them. So we are two beautiful creations of this wonderful universe. So let's remain to be ourselves, maintain our identity. In fact, I can't think of anybody but Kalidasa when this term of equality comes. Vagartha viva samprattau vagartha pratipaddaye, he says. Jagadah pitaro vande, matacha pitacha pitaro. Samprattau. He doesn't say samyuktau. Samyoga is what you can bring together and what you can take off when you don't want. It's a sambandha that you create. When it is sampritta, it is inseparable. It is always there together. So we have the Chandra Chandrika Nyaya which says, if Shiva is the Artha, Parvati is the Vachana. If Shiva is Surya, Parvati is Surya Kanti. If Shiva is Chandra, she is the Chandrike. If Shiva is Prakasha, she is Vimarsha. If Shiva is impression, she is the expression. If Shiva is Anubhava, she is the Abhivyakti. That is the kind of relationship that India envisaged, India lived, and that is the kind of a society we need to actually come back to. This is a very ideal romantic situation. Nonetheless, it is not that such a situation doesn't exist in homes. It is there. So much of harmony is definitely there in many, many, many homes. But life is not just that. There is always औरत ने जन्म दिया मर्दों को, मर्दों ने उसे बाजार दिया. You need to find that reality also. And for that reality, we need Vidya, we need Shakti, and we need to train our sons to look at women in a better way. To look at women basically with more respect, which was there, which is not there. Can we include that in the curriculum? Can we bring that by examples, as I said, micro and macro? Friends, the world today doesn't need intelligence. We have more of natural and artificial intelligence, especially with the summit going on in New Delhi. What we need today is more of wisdom, more of compassion, which can bring balance. It is that kind of balance that we are looking for, and women can definitely bring this balance. We have always brought in this balance. Wisdom with Vidya, compassion with Shakti, and combining intellect with empathy and leadership with responsibility, we can bring in the balance. Educating the women in the right way transforms generation, and that's exactly